So, as I said, I've not seen evidence that China is providing Russia with any significant workaround for our sanctions. They do buy Russian oil. Conceivably, they could buy more, but there are limitations on the ability to ship oil to China. Chinese banks do a lot of business with the West. They care very deeply about their relationship with the U.S. and European financial systems, and they seem to be very cautious in their willingness to do business with Russia. So conceivably, there could be some partial relief for Russia through that channel, but I don't think that anything will happen through China, or at least I'm not seeing any evidence of it, that would significantly mitigate the crushing burden of what we've done.
But if you do, would you be prepared to sanction Chinese companies, Chinese entities?
I'm not going to leap ahead to what we would be prepared to do. I'm not seeing anything happening at this point, and we will track things closely.
Well, one thing I know you're tracking is the impact on our economy and on inflation in particular. Got the latest CPI reading today for February, 7.9%, and that was before the bulk of the impact was really seen from the war on certain commodities.
Yep.
How much is this crisis exacerbating the inflation problem we already have?
Well, it is exacerbating it. I think there's no doubt about it. We've seen a very meaningful increase in gas prices, and my guess is that next month we'll see further evidence of an impact on U.S. inflation of Putin's war on Ukraine. Russia, in addition to exporting oil, and we have certainly seen meaningful increases in oil prices that are related to Russia's invasion and the expectation that it would invade Ukraine. So oil, Ukraine and Russia are major producers of wheat. We're seeing impacts on food prices, and I think that can have a very severe effect on some very vulnerable emerging market countries. So we'll see something on food, palladium, nickel, other minerals that Russia exports could translate into, for example, higher costs of catalytic converters or batteries. So there'll be further supply chain issues in the short run, and it will add to U.S. inflation as well as European inflation. But, it's really critical, and I think Americans feel strongly, and as people all over the world do, that this kind of behavior that violates every international norm of decent behavior, what we're really seeing is an atrocity, and peace-loving democratic nations need to and are standing up against it. We've designed these sanctions to have the maximum impact on Russia while mitigating fallout for everyone else, including the United States. But it's not realistic to think that we can take actions of this magnitude without feeling some consequences ourselves.
Already had been happening and is happening in the U.S. when it comes to rising prices, from everything from wages to rents to food prices. I think your expectation previously is that inflation would calm down in the second half of this year to normal levels. Have you revised those expectations? Where do you think we'll be at the end of the year?
So I think there's a lot of uncertainty that is related to what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. And I do think that it's exacerbating inflation. I don't want to make a prediction exactly as to what's going to happen in the second half of the year. We're likely to see another year in which 12-month inflation numbers remain very uncomfortably high. you know, the Federal Reserve is looking very carefully at this. They've indicated that they intend to take actions to bring inflation down, and I have confidence in their ability to make a meaningful difference going forward.